worked in juvenile corrections for a while, so I got kind of like that mindset. Also, I'm from New York City, so I'm like naturally paranoid. Well, yeah.
How about, can you, can you hear me? Can you hear, barely? Okay. All right, so 1 minute,
Okay.
1 minute to go.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, but you have if you have a concern, that means you have ideas, so that could be good. Okay.
Okay, yeah, no, that sounds good.
Jesse gave me
Talking, I'll stay back.
No, no, no. We're about to start.
it's a serious business.
Okay. Ooh, it's a live mic.
Oh, alive?
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody.
Good
Hope
evening.
you're all doing
Paul.
well. Fellow board members, neighbors, thanks for being with us tonight. This is always a special meeting of the Board of Directors, being that it is our annual meeting, and it's a time when we have the opportunity to extend appreciation to board members who are leaving the board, exiting the board, and then welcoming new board members into our family, and also installing a new slate of officers for the next term. So, very excited to be with you tonight. We have a relatively concise agenda because we want to make sure that there's time to socialize and just get to know each other a little bit better as we build community here in Sarasota. So, I'd like to call the meeting to order on the 20th of October. It is 6:05 p.m. And our first order of business, before I will make some remarks, but our first order of business is always to approve our consent agenda. And so our consent agenda tonight, as typical, includes the agenda for tonight's meeting, the minutes from our September meeting, and in this case, two committee reports, our Finance Committee report and our Governance Committee report. So I will ask for someone to move to accept the consent agenda as presented in your board packets.
So moved.
Thank you, Chris. And do we have a second? Okay, very good. All right, so why don't we go ahead and just get started. I did want to make just a few comments before we get into the thick of the agenda. And most of what we do tonight is under new business. We will cover the new board member election, and that will require a vote of the Board of Directors. The board officers election, the proposal for the current board member term extension. So there'll be a presentation around that and then some discussion as we consider that. And then an organizational report by our general manager, Jesse Coleman to my left, and our annual financial report by Jesse. I think this might be the last time that Jesse does that now that we'll have a new treasurer coming in. But Jesse will cover that. And then we'll have a report from Johannes, who's here with us tonight, on the WSLR news expansion plan. So that's what we plan to cover this evening. Of course, if there's anything else that you want addressed, we can certainly entertain that. So just in terms of a few things that I'd like to share with you, and at the risk of sounding like a broken record, but I guess that's appropriate at a radio station, I did want to talk a little bit about the theme that we had, kind of an unofficial theme that we had at the board. Strong organization equals greater impact. Jess, can you just maybe move this along for me as we go? And of course, we start with our mission. And, you know, I want to thank Jane, who about a year ago, you know, reminded us as we were having our board meetings that, you know, we should always start with our mission and remind ourselves that everything that we do should track back to that mission and should help advance that mission. I don't need to read it. I know that you're all, you know, very familiar with it. But as we get ready this coming weekend to consider our strategic plan and what we want to achieve over the next 3 years, you know, I encourage you to keep these things in mind when we talk about sustainability and peace and democracy and economic and social justice, that these are just not words on paper, but we're charged to bring those things to life and to have impact in each of these areas. Jess, thank you. So I've talked a lot about the 3 Ps, and again, this is the broken record part, but maybe just to kind of recap, you know, as a board, what we used as a framework. We talked about investing in our people, investing in a plan, and investing in philanthropy. And I just wanted to say a few things about that. You could go ahead and move to the next slide, Jess. In terms of our people, you know, we started with the board, and we wanted to make sure that first and foremost that our seats were filled, and we did bring on, you know, a couple of really phenomenal board members, and it helped diversify the board. At the time, I think Jane was probably the only woman on the board, and we were able to bring Chris and Michelle on, and thank you very much for being part of the board, and strengthening, you know, us, and just making an incredible contribution to our efforts. So we were able to do that, and we were able to take a look at, we had quite a debate about widening the board and adding seats to the board of directors, which we also agreed to do so that we can bring additional people in. And one thing that I know that we're all mindful of is that we want, as we sit around this table, to have many different perspectives represented, and many different ideas and thoughts brought to the table. And so as we look at future board members, and we'll have some seats available, we want to make sure that we continue in the spirit of diversity to recruit people that not only bring in the skill sets that we need, but also, you know, help represent the community in which we serve. So I think we did a really great job with the board. I'll tell you that, you know, it is just an honor and a pleasure to work with each of you. And we have a working board. You know, people are active at the committee level and roll up their sleeves. I think every board member in this organization contributes to the organization generously with their time, with their talent, and with their treasure. So we're doing really great in terms of the board when it relates back to people. A few words about our professionally paid staff. Again, you know, we had pretty good and robust conversation and dialogue about how we needed to invest in the paid staff of this organization. And at the time, after just doing, I wouldn't say they were, you know, highly serious studies, but we did look at data. And we also recognized that if we were going to live our values, you know, we really, or if we were going to promote our values, you know, we needed to start here at home, and that it was ethically important and also strategically important that we invest in the paid staff. And we discovered that we weren't paying our people really what we needed to pay them in our market to be competitive with other nonprofit organizations, to recruit people to the organization to work here and to retain those people. And we wanted to reward people for the hard work that they were doing. And I'm very proud. I think it was one of the best things that we did all year. You know, I'm very proud that we did decide collectively as a board to further invest in the people who are our paid employees. And we are now, I would say competitive in the marketplace for a nonprofit organization of our size. So really great step forward there. Of course, we have, a dedicated group of volunteers and, members and donors that keep growing. So on the people front, I think we did rather well. Jess, could you just move on? So the other big thing that we did was talk about the importance of planning. And our strategic plan, which is now currently in place, is about to come to an end. And we needed to think about planning for the next 3 years. I feel as though we made a very good decision to partner with the Gulf Coast Community Foundation and a program that they sponsor called Invest in Incredible. And I think our strategic planning consultant has just done a wonderful job. I don't know if you've had a chance yet to look at the packet that she's put together for us as we prepare to meet next Saturday here all day to do some strategic planning. But again, I think it was a really great investment. It cost a little bit of money, but I think it's money really well spent. So I was very proud of us that we were able to do that. One other thing I'll say about the strategic planning, and I can't wait for us to get together on Saturday, is that that's when the work really only just begins. We're going to have to break out into working groups to really propel these ideas that come out of that strategic planning forward. Jess, could you move on, please? And then, of course, philanthropy. So a couple years back, we talked about creating a culture of philanthropy, and I think we have done that. And we have focused on individual giving, recognizing that it is important that we have diverse streams of revenue coming into the organization, and we do. But where the real growth is with individuals, and that's the work of building relationships with our members and our donors, entering into conversation, dialogue with these people, listening to them about what they think about the organization, sharing with them what some of our plans are, and developing a really genuine partnership with the people who are giving us money to do what we do. And we have seen really great results on that front. Beyond individual giving, which I think is growing, and we're doing well there, we've also made important inroads with some of the local foundations. We have an invitation to work with the Barancic Foundation, and that's a work in progress. We have a good working relationship with the Selby Foundation, and we hope to get a grant into them for some capital improvement. And we just submitted not just, but back in August, Jess, I want to say, we submitted a grant to Impact 100. Some of you might be familiar with Impact. It's a women's giving circle. They're international. Sarasota might be the fastest growing chapter, certainly in the country, maybe one of the fastest growing chapters in the world. I think there are nearly 900 women who give at least $1,000 a year. They pool their money together and they give grants out in different areas. We have applied for a grant, and we have made it a few steps forward with them, and we'll hope to be a finalist and maybe get rewarded with a grant there as well. That would also be for capital improvement. So we're doing really well, I think, on the philanthropic front. One of the things that I'd like to see us focus on moving forward is building a genuine major gift program. I think that it's important that we see our organization as being as meaningful as any other nonprofit organization in the city. And when we do that, and when we can communicate with people what it is that we do and what we're trying to achieve and the reasons why that's so important, I do believe that people will come to us. And as you know, Sarasota is a highly philanthropic city. There is an incredible concentration of wealth here and people who give. And it's just a matter of making those connections with people and letting them know what we're doing. And when we do stuff like this, when we plan and when we have sound financials, as we do right now, and we can demonstrate that we're a serious organization that's having impact in the areas that relate to our mission, I do believe that we're going to have people at the major gift level invest in this organization. And it's important, obviously, because we need to sustain our future growth. We are growing at a pretty rapid rate, not only in terms of the number of paid staff, part-time and full-time, but we just passed a budget that is approaching $1 million now, and it's the largest budget in the organization's history. So, it's important that we add that layer in, that major gift piece into our thinking as we move forward so that we can sustain the work that we do. So just a few things to think about as we move forward. These were just things that were in my mind as I was contemplating the upcoming strategic plan, but the need to continue to strengthen the board, and we're going to take a step forward tonight in doing that. We have 3 wonderful people that we're going to be electing onto the board, voting tonight to elect those people to the board. We have, sorry, Jess, I can't see that. The importance of continuing to understand that one of the board's major jobs, beyond setting the strategic direction of the organization and our fiduciary responsibilities, is making sure that we resource our staff. And we resource the staff in 2 ways, really. We hire our general manager. So we have one staff person who's accountable to us, and then Jesse runs the organization, and all the other staff are accountable to him. But we also have to drive money into the organization and resource the staff so that they have what they need to go ahead and be excellent. So just a couple of other things that I'll add here is, continue to add money to the Founders Fund. What was it, a couple of years ago now, we established the Founders Fund when we honored our founders, Arlene and Dave. That's at the Community Foundation of Sarasota County. We started modestly. We doubled the size of that fund last year with a special event, and that money that was net revenue from that special event went into the Founders Fund, and we'll continue to build that. But it's really, really important that we grow our endowment, and we have to start somewhere. And, I just would encourage us to think big when we think about the endowment. And although, we have pressing needs that are very immediate, and we have to meet our budget, and there are always things that we have to take care of, whether it's a leaky roof or whatever it might be, putting money away into the endowment is incredibly important. And as we plan for the future, I would hope that that would be a component that we would take seriously. Obviously, driving more contributions into the organization and building the earned revenue stream. So Jesse later will talk a little bit, I'm sure, about Margin and Mission Ignition, which is a project of the Patterson Foundation. We're working with a team of consultants to help us come up with a first-rate business plan so that we can grow earned revenue and use this space when it's not, when we're not hosting concerts and other types of activities that we're producing, that this space is generating income that we can use to fuel our mission. So those were just a few things that I wanted to put out there. And then I'll leave you with this, that I encourage all of us, not only the board, but anybody who's involved in this organization, to think big and to be ambitious and to have a bold vision and to be willing to achieve large goals. So, let's really challenge ourselves. We need to be realistic, we need to be responsible, but we need to think big, because if we think small, we're going to have small results. But if we think big and we have a good plan and we execute and work hard and with a little bit of luck, we're going to move, very far ahead. So I'll just leave you with that, and I'm going to turn the meeting over to our general manager, who's going to give us, I guess, an update. And just after that, why don't you just move right into the financials?
All right. Nice to see you all. Thank you for being here. Everyone in Zoom land, are you seeing the presentation currently? Excellent. Fantastic. Well, welcome all to the 2024-25 fiscal year annual meeting. As Paul said, we had a great welcome and introductions, and we're getting right into the meat here. Thank you all to the board of directors for the great work you put in all year long to make this a successful year for WSLR and Fogartyville. The staff who have been out there doing their thing, Leon, Joe, Ariel, you all did a fantastic job setting this up. We've got Matt back in the booth. Thank you so much for all the tech help. Johannes, Kathleen, and Diana, who's up in New Hampshire right now taking care of her father-in-law. We thank you all for everything that you guys do for this organization. It's phenomenal. It's been a year of growth, resilience, and renewal here at WSLR in Fogartyville. We came in with a great mission: be a center for creative expression and community engagement that amplifies the voices of our diverse community, promotes peace, sustainability, democracy, economic, and social justice. And we focus in on those core values that we have, as a board, as a group of people focused on these values: community, creativity, openness, a standard of excellence, and a commitment to justice are those values that we've put forward in the past and that we continue to hold on. We had a great year. I'm not going to cut any corners. There was challenges, but it was a phenomenal time. We had a record-setting season at Fogartyville with over 100 concerts and 32 rentals. We saw some of the best expanded arts programming that we've done here, with Kathleen and Ariel at the helm, bringing on a drink and draw night and a full lineup of gallery and exhibitions. The energy, the audience, the mix, it's all been coming together really well and making this place the heartbeat of Sarasota, as it really has the potential to be. Facility and patio upgrades have been a huge win over this past year. We've made big improvements, especially with that new patio infrastructure out there with our shades that bring down heating lamps, fans. It's really a space now that can be utilized all throughout the year. I know Ariel and I put on a rental with some parents, a parents group. What were they called, Ariel? It was Mom's Rising. It was middle of June, middle of August. What was it? Yeah. July? It was hot, whatever it was. But we opened up the patio, kept the air blowing in here, and had all fans going out there. And they were still very happy kids. Had some juice boxes and fun stuff all around. But really grateful for that investment in this space. And we see that the future can hold a lot for Fogartyville. Our next big win was our WSLR news expansion and digital reach. Our newsroom has grown in many exciting ways over the past year. We added on a part-time digital production assistant, Lillian Maggio. She's doing a phenomenal job getting our web posts up, and it's driving a tremendous amount of traffic into the website, higher than we've ever seen before. With that, we've had online stories that some of them reach over 20,000 page views. So we're really seeing folks reading the news, taking it in, listening to it live, because we have our audio source on there as well. And we also got to launch Talk of the Town with Carrie Seidman at the end of last year as a pilot run of 6 episodes. And we just kicked off at the beginning of October a new season, once a month here at Fogartyville, live in front of the studio audience and broadcast on the airwaves. It's been a real fun time. Next big win for us, and I want to apologize right off the bat. Canva was down this morning. I was going to have some beautiful pictures and video in here for you all because we have an amazing video of the youth radio camp that I'll share with everyone who's here at the meeting. But one of the biggest highlights, I think, of the year, and Leon and Johannes can back me up in this, was having the 3 weeks of youth radio camps. We touched over... should watch my wording there. We had a great group of kids here that we worked with, and it was over, I think we had 20 different participants who took part in it, and it was just great week after week. Especially the highlight for us was the news camp. We had 3 young people who took part in the news camp this time around, and it was so engaging. They did a phenomenal newscast at the end of the week on Friday, and we now have one of those campers who has become one of our student interns in the news department, Bryce. He's doing a fantastic job this semester.
17 years old.
So it's really going well. The outreach to the youth has been great. We've seen them coming back. We have another one who is a participant who's applied for a program now. So we're excited at the potential for the outreach and getting more youth involved here at WSLR in Fogartyville. Community engagement was really our next big win as a full-on section here. Our annual volunteer traditions is something that we tried to encourage over the past year. We incorporated 2 new traditions that we took hold of. Our May Day barbecue, where we had an award ceremony for those who participate between our programmers and our Fogartyville volunteers. It was a really good time. Live music, DJing from our programmers, and we have some fun awards that we're giving out with all the staff cooking for our volunteers. So fun times, good event. And our other one is our Martin Luther King Day Unity Walk that we participated for the past, actually 3 years now in Newtown. And we encourage everyone to join us this Martin Luther King Day. A great walk from the Robert L. Taylor Community Center goes all the way to Martin Luther King Park. Just a great time to build great feelings all around for everyone involved. Another great win was our remote broadcasting expansion. Over the past year, I got to give major props to Mr. Leon Kerber, who's worked very hard to expand our tech capabilities. He's in the other room right now broadcasting our meeting here live on the radio so that our members can hear what's going on here. But very fantastic work that he's doing in order to make sure that we can get out in the community and broadcast from it. Between the equipment that we've invested in and the new studio equipment, we're going to be able to really bring this on a regular basis out to folks. And we're developing a plan also where we have some significant outreach. This month, we're looking to have, this year, we're going to be having 5 presentations at the Ringling College Art Walks, and we're also expanding once a month to be doing live broadcasts over at the Farmers Market. So we'll have some fun there as well. Okay, last thing here under community engagement is our Creative Nexus series, which continues to spotlight BIPOC and LGBTQ artists offering workshops, performances, and mentorship. These programs have been a great partnership with Mosaic Movements, a local nonprofit in town, and your lady Rosario Hernandez, who is putting that all together. And we hope to continue doing these types of workshops and presentations in the future. Another great win was our Rooted in Community celebration, where in this spring, our 2nd annual event raised over $35,000 for the Founders Fund, as Paul said. It was initially a chance to honor Dave and Arlene, but now we see it as a way to really connect with other community members and bring more folks into our fold. A great way to highlight the work that people are doing out there. And lastly, the section is financial resilience and leadership. This was our highest revenue earning year ever, with $807,000 in total revenue. We closed with a $12,000 surplus, even after taking on an extra $30,000 in patio upgrades and $12,000 in IT improvements. Without those one-time costs, our surplus would have exceeded $54,000 this year. So we're really excited that we can really push this financial engine forward. Even though we face state and county funding cuts, the community stepped up. Individual donors, sponsors, members all filled this gap that we had. And we're really excited. With that, this whole year to be honored to be selected with the Patterson Foundation's Margin Mission Ignition program, which is really helping us build out that earned income business plan for facility rentals here at Fogartyville. The other big win, I would have to say, to cap it all off here, was the first full year for this new leadership team here at the staff level. We took the reins from the founders, and it's been a humbling and inspiring experience, I think, for everybody. We're learning our limits. We're figuring out what our capacity is, and we're really, I think, cooking, to be honest with you. So I'm really grateful for all of you out there who have been working so hard to make this happen. And proud that we are carrying forward the heart that Dave and Arlene left for us here. So we're going to keep it going. Now, we did have some challenges. I want to just remind everyone, 2024 and 25 wasn't all rainbows and sunshine. We had county and state funding cuts, and those were challenging. It was right when I jumped on board that the county said, we're not giving you the money. We had just heard that the state had also cut most of the arts, I think all of the arts funding back in 2024. So that was a hole in our budget of almost $74,000 that we were going to need to fill. And we were able to. Our community stepped up with a really strong crisis management strategy that we implemented, thanks to Kathleen Murray for bringing that front and center right and early, maybe like months before this. So we had a plan going into it, how we're going to address the situation. So that was a great way to be able to turn that negative into a positive for the organization. I think we got in front of more folks' faces because of that event, and it was really a beneficial, though challenging issue for us. Other big problem was that destructive hurricane season. We had severe storms cause a lot of damage to our gutters and fencing here on the People's Patio. However, Johannes was here through the storms, overnight, camping out in the station to report the news and keep things online. We did go down briefly, so there's some opportunities for us to build out our infrastructure to strengthen the resilience of this organization so we can keep broadcasting out to the community in the future. But I gotta say, we were able to get it back up within 12 hours and be back broadcasting our own local coverage. So it was really a good strengthening operation all around. And thanks to Johannes for being there. And then transitioning leadership. We wanted to really come into this organization as a new staff and honor the traditions that built it, and while still knowing that there's a need for change in the organization. So respecting what was built, what came before us, building on that trust, love, and community that was all part of what WSLR and Fogartyville was built around, the collaboration of volunteers coming together to create a community resource, and trying to renew that, bring more energy into it, keep the growth going. So that challenge was a really fun one, and we've continued that work today. Looking forward, we got Sheila Jane rocking out in the old studio. We're going to have to get some new pics, but Canva was down with the Amazon Web Service breakdown today. I don't know if anyone else experienced that on their websites that they were going through. But we have a strategic planning session kicking off this Saturday. Oh my gosh, it's all happening here at the zoo. We'll discuss our priorities and our partnerships, how we can grow this organization over the next 3 years. We'll focus a lot on growing earned income with the Margin Ignition program with the Patterson Foundation. We've got a great consultant, Mr. Larry Clark, who's been working hand in glove with us, building out a business plan, testing us, pushing us to our limits, and we are ready to be done with the marathon and to get into the business of getting this place really booked out as much as we possibly can. And then growing our news department. So under our news director, Johannes Werner, we have grown tremendously. We want to continue that growth and build on the staff capacity. We have plans on expanding the digital content, the live coverage, and the community storytelling we're bringing. And we see that the success of Talk of the Town here and getting our elevated status up by bringing on a great community partner in Carrie Seidman to be our host. It's been very beneficial for us getting our name at WSLR News out there to the community, and we're going to keep that growth going as WSLR News steps into its next evolution. So that's it. Here, the next chapter. This is where community rises. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jesse. Why don't we switch gears a little bit? We're going to talk governance now, and before we do, and before I turn it over, I think I'm going to turn it over to Eric. Is that right?
I have some motions to make.
Okay. I want to recognize Sebastian, who should be on the screen behind me. Sebastian has served diligently and with excellence as our governance chairman of our governance committee, and he is rotating off the board. And I just wanted to once again recognize him for all of his good work and wish him well and wish his family well as they start their lives in, I think, Minnesota, right? Minneapolis? Is it?
Yeah, just south of Minneapolis.
Oh, very good. Well, thanks again, though, and we hope that you stay in touch. We're going to miss you, and I don't know if you're going to be broadcasting your radio program from there or not, but no? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I've transitioned that off.
All right, well, stay in touch, and thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, Sebastian, I'm not quite sure if it's going to be you or Eric who's going to move us through the elections. We have new board members to elect, a slate of board officers, and then we have a proposal, I guess, for the board. Is that right? So, is it you or is it Eric that's going to carry this piece?
It'll be Eric.
Okay. So, Eric, it's all yours.
You can pull that mic
Here,
over.
do like this?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, that should be good. I move to elect the following individuals as a slate of candidates approved by consensus of the Governance Committee to the Board of Directors of WSLR Inc. Beth Levine, Mark Edgington, and Teresa LaSalle.
I second.
Oh, yes. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all those opposed? All right, it is unanimous. Welcome.
Yeah, so why don't we have our candidates, one's virtual, but why don't we have our candidates just say a quick hello so that the rest of the board knows who you are? And just so that the board members know, their term officially begins at the end of this meeting. So any votes that happen between now and the end of the meeting will be existing board, well, not existing, but, you know, the board members that were not elected just a moment ago. So, Teresa, you want to say a quick hello? Thank you, Teresa. And Beth?
We're all dressed up. Been volunteer. Really excited to be here.
Thank you, Beth. And we have Mark. Can we hear you, Mark?
Yeah, I do want to thank everybody, and I'm excited to fill my term with WSLR, you know, the clarion voice of real radio from Sarasota, Florida.
Thank you. And welcome. Eric?
All right, thank you very much. Up next, we're going to talk about board officers. I move to elect as officers of the Board of Directors of WSLR the following individuals. Paul Saray for Chair, Dale Anderson for Vice Chair, Michelle Hallerden as Treasurer, and myself, Eric Riskowitz, as Secretary. Seconded by Jane Grant-Bush. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? All right, that appears unanimous.
Thank you very much.
All right, are we on to current board member terms extension?
Yeah.
Okay. I move to extend the terms of all currently serving board members from 2 years to 3 years, and would like to note for the record that this is in alignment with changes to our bylaws made in July of 2025. I'd also like to note that this does not apply to Sebastian Wigging. He will be considered as having completed his 2-year term as of this meeting. If anyone would like to see what the sort of implications of that are, I have 3 copies of these. Is there a need for any debate? Does anyone see a need for any debate? Then, yes, Dale.
But you might want to just explain what this does.
Oh, yes. Okay, so for folks who have not worked through this with us, without making this adjustment, we will have a big glug of people whose terms end in 2028 and a big glug of people whose terms end in 2029, and we'll really only have 2 groups of people who rotate. We'll have years where nobody rotates off the board, whereas in terms of doing this, if we extend the existing 2-year terms of those of us who are already in our terms, it's in line with something we decided a couple months ago, which was that board member terms would be 3 years, and it will get us so that there are 5 members whose terms end in 2026, 5 seats whose terms end in 2028, and oh, I'm looking at the wrong one here. No, all right. With this adjustment, we will have 3 terms, 3 seats open in 2026, 5 open in 2027, and 5 open in 2028. So it brings us closer to having 1/3 of the board seats be open for either someone to express their interest to stay on, or for a new board member to be elected to fill that seat. So, not sensing any opposition, I will ask for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. All right. Johannes, the next item on the agenda is a update on the WSLR expansion plan. So we'll give you the floor. Sure.
Please take my.
Sorry, I kept you from taking all these.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. It's been almost 2 years I've been with WSLR as news director, and it's been the 2 most meaningful years of my professional career, and much of it has to do with this, what we're about. We're building a newsroom. That's one part. We're building a newsroom with a very unusual mix of people. I'm working with a 17-year-old, I'm working with an 80-year-old, and everything in between. These people have both feet in their community. They're rooted in this community, and this makes this newsroom exceptional. We have reporters who are part of this community. And what we want to do, this is the other part of my excitement, is we're committed to ensuring a more just and inclusive community through grassroots journalism that matters to working people, holds power accountable, and uplifts diverse community voices and grassroots movements. So we're trying to frame the movement. We're taking it to the next level. WSLR's strategic plan for 2022-25 identifies newsroom expansion as a top goal. After strong news department growth in capacity and news offerings, WSLR's 2024 board retreat reaffirmed commitment to growing news operations. Thank you very much for that. And WSLR is now uniquely positioned to lead in Sarasota as an independent news source. Our goals in this expansion: we want to grow the team in 2 phases, with 1 full-time reporter coming on in financial year 25-26. We have that happening now. We're placing ads. This is new territory for us. And we want an additional full-time reporter in financial year 26-27. With that, we want to expand our reach and brand recognition. And we do that in part with the addition of Carrie Seedman and the launch of Talk of the Town, a WSLR News Roundtable. We're now in the first full season of this, and we are maturing and growing into Talk of the Town. We want to strengthen the training and internship program, build WSLR News Volunteer Corps with citizen journalism workshops. We want to have a constant cycle of training sessions. We have one coming up now in November and December, and we have another one in February. These are 4 Saturday mornings. If you know anyone who might have excess energy and would like to be part of the WSLR News team, this is going to be our entryway. So please pass them on to me, news@wslr.org. We want to increase our field reporting and daily broadcast content. We do have the ambition. We want to cover the day-to-day ongoings in local government, and that will make it possible for us. On a practical level, our programming changes include launching live in-studio headline broadcasts with increased length at about 5 minutes. This is more or less the NPR news format. And we offer them during key drive time hours at 7 to 9 a.m. and 3 to 5 p.m. We want to consolidate and strengthen our long-form reporting into one WSLR News Week in Review broadcast airing on Saturdays at noon. We're not just going to go into the more short and immediate reporting. We want to expand our in-depth report. We are keeping our Talk of the Town, WSLR News Roundtable. It happens every 2nd Saturday at 11 a.m., monthly, live here from this stage at the Fogartyville. And we just launched our first full season in October this month. We want to eventually expand our Saturday show from 30 minutes to 1 hour for deeper dives and investigative features. On an operational level, we want to produce live in-studio WSLR News headline broadcasts 6 times a day, and they will have increased length and frequency from our existing headline format. We want to introduce additional volunteer news anchors to deliver these headlines and newscasts, supporting original reporting efforts by staff, interns, and citizen journalists. We are producing Talk of the Town, a monthly program simulcast live from this stage here with videos streamed on social media platforms. We want to consolidate and strengthen long-form reporting from Wednesday and Friday programs, which we have currently, into 1 week in review broadcast on Saturdays. And this is what the schedule is going to look like. 6 headline reports every day throughout the week. And on Saturdays, the in-depth news block, eventually a full hour. All of these operational shifts will help fulfill WSLR's mission to promote peace, sustainability, democracy, and economic and social justice by informing and empowering our community through local journalism. The benefits of these format changes: we will have more original, high-quality reporting heard more frequently in our most listened to segments. And this is going to be more immediate. We'll have timelier content, faster breaking news response, and stronger emergency coverage through live infrastructure and team support. We will make better use of our staff and volunteer resources across production, field reporting, and on-air delivery. And it frees up my capacity, the news director's capacity, to better train and support interns and volunteers with production responsibilities shared by an expanded team. How are we going to measure this success? One is we are seeking a 50% increase in average page views per online post. Jesse already mentioned it. Probably more people get our news now online than on air. So this shifts the whole scenario. We want to break the 1,000 podcast subscriber threshold. We want to grow the base of support in our end of the year WSLR News direct mail campaign. We got 27. We want to grow that to 75 individual gifts. And we want to get twice the support for WSLR News during our membership drives. What we're doing here with this shift is advancing our strategic goals. The plan fulfills the core strategic priorities outlined in the 22-25 strategic plan, specifically strengthen and support community journalism, enhance organizational capacity, and increase civic engagement and community impact. It's not just an operational plan, it's a commitment to our mission and a necessary step in building a more informed, inclusive, and just community. Thank you so much for supporting this.
Johannes, thank you. And I know you probably have questions for Johannes. I want to remind us we are on the air right now, and it is our fall fund drive. So Jesse's going to make a quick pitch to whoever's out there, our listeners, and then we'll go ahead and if you have questions for Johannes, we can take those.
Yes, we are so happy that you all have tuned in on the airwaves of WSLR 96.5 FM here in Sarasota, and we are asking for your support today. We are in our fall membership drive. We are looking to raise $72,000 to continue the good work that we have put out for you today at this annual board meeting. We've done I got to toot our own horn here, a phenomenal job in 2024 and 25 to expand the creative expression and community engagement here in Sarasota, and we want to keep that going, and we can't do that without your help. So we are asking right now for you to give our volunteers who are in the station on the other side of the building a call. The number to dial is 941-894-6469, or you can go online to WSLR.org and make a contribution that is safe and secure. We're happy, we're waiting by, and we want your support. Paul, anything else on that one?
What's that number?
What's that number, Paul?
I don't remember.
Oh, it's 941-894-6469.
Thank you, Jesse. All right.
Jesse.
Good job, Jesse. All right. Any questions for Johannes on his presentation on news expansion before we open it up to public comment? So, Tom?
Jesse, Johannes, what happens on Sundays?
I'm off. It's a good question, but we probably could produce offline headlines on Fridays. I haven't frankly thought through whether we do need news on Sundays. Weekends are always a challenging time to come up with news because nobody's working. So I'm open to suggestions at this point.
One other question. Have you talked to any of the schools? So I know a number of schools in Sarasota have news programs for their students. You've talked to them?
Yes, we're in touch with Pineview and Booker. And yes, if you know young people, please pitch them our upcoming summer camp next year, the radio journalism camp.
Yeah, and Tom, if I can echo what Johanna said there, we are really looking to expand our outreach with these schools. So we've made contact with those journalism departments, and also we've talked to one in Manatee County as well.
Yes.
And that's in order to facilitate getting a pipeline of students to come into the news camps in the summertime, get familiar with us, learn the basics of journalism, and then hopefully expand into our internship programs in the future.
Dale?
So with the uncertainty about public or funding of our national public radio, are there potential people that would be leaving those organizations that you could recruit into some of the roles that you're looking for?
I wouldn't say I hope for that, but
I
it's,
agree.
it's a distinct possibility.
Yeah.
What I'm expecting is young and hungry journalists, eager to help start and grow something, rather than senior reporters.
Yeah.
So it may happen
Yeah.
by accident, but I'm expecting younger people.
Yeah, there may be some NPR people that are retiring in Sarasota that would be looking for opportunities. So.
Interesting idea.
Johannes, I'm not expecting a definitive answer, but your opinion would be good on critical times, print media, as opposed to, we're adding new staff, we're building digital muscle. So where does that leave us with critical times, and what's your, just basic idea around that?
It's a logistical additional challenge we have. It's also a cost, but I would say it's an opportunity. We're toying with several ideas. One we're experimenting with right now is kind of producing theme issues. Kathleen did an amazing job producing a green issue. The next issue could be the food issue. So we are trying to make more sense of that quarterly rhythm. Another idea that's out there is about a zine that's focusing on entertainment that has a lead investigative or enterprise kind of report. So there are several ways of doing this, and it could create a revenue stream.
Johannes, do you have a projected start date for the live headlines?
When we get our full-time reporter on board, and that should be early 26.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions for Johannes? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much. So this is the time of our meeting when we open things up to public comment. We do have a couple of people here, in the room and maybe even listening online. So now's your time to ask a question or make a comment. Just open up the floor. We're good? Oh, Tom Walker. Yes, Tom.
I just want to congratulate everybody on a wonderful job. I have some thoughts and comments. I'll be emailing to Jesse, and I want to formulate them correctly, questions. But in general, I was board chairman for 7 years. I saw basically us go from a 1 or 2 person shop to almost what you have today. And I think it's amazing. And I'm really proud of everything we do and everything you've discussed tonight. So good job. Keep it up. I'm in almost daily contact with Jesse or Johannes. They help me do my job, and I hope I contribute a little bit to the information cycle. thank you very much to everybody.
Thank you, Tom. And, for those of you that don't know Tom Walker, he's a longtime friend of WSLR. He served on the board. He was a board chairman at one time, and he presently has a really fine public affairs show on the radio. Tom, why don't you go ahead and give that a plug?
Oh, it's every other Wednesday. I take turns with Bob Thomas, but every other Wednesday from 9 until 10 in the morning, I interview activists, journalists, authors, politicians, professors, anybody who strikes my fancy who is leaning toward justice. Last week, I interviewed a fellow who talked about what our billionaires are doing to our country. And so, if you have any suggestions for somebody you'd like to see interviewed, or any cause you'd like to see investigated or expanded or promoted, just let me know. Because we always have, twice a month at least, I have an open, and I love talking to people. I don't do much talking. I like them to talk, because they know what they know, and I want to know it. So thank you very much. Any suggestions are welcome.
Thank you, Tom. Before we have a motion to adjourn, I just want to make sure that there aren't any other questions or comments. We do have some dates that we want to make sure that you keep in mind. Jesse, do you mind maybe reminding us of some important dates here?
Yeah, so just want to make sure everyone is aware, especially on the board here, that we have a strategic planning retreat with our strategic planning Keisha Carroll on October 25th. That's this Saturday. We ask that everyone arrive by 8:30 here at Fogartyville for a light breakfast and some socializing before we get started with the hard work at 9 a.m. We will start promptly. Keisha is ready to drive this strategic planning session. Also like to say that if you have not got your board packet yet, let's go to my office afterwards and I'll hand those out to you. We also have our Margin Mission Ignition Fast Pitch presentation with the Patterson Foundation, where we reveal the big business plan we've been working on with a 10-minute, 15-minute presentation and a 30-minute Q&A session at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, October 29th here at Fogartyville. We would love it for you all to be there, where we will say, hey, this is the time to ask questions. They call it a kindler, gentler Shark Tank. So we need your thoughts and to see how we can make this the best plan altogether. And then we have our strategic planning action sessions, where after we come up with our goals, we'll be breaking all of those into strategic action steps. That'll be on Thursday, November 6th at different times during the day that we'll discuss at the strategic planning session, depending on which group you are in. And then we have our new board member orientation onboarding session on Thursday, November 13th at 11 a.m. here at Fogartyville. So a big couple of weeks coming up here. We hope you can make it.
Just a quick question. I'm not sure if our new board members, the 3 new people, have this packet or not, and if they
Got
don't, then
them
we
for
can-
you.
Oh, good. All right. So make sure you grab these as well. All right. Thank you. All right. So that brings us to the end of our meeting. Just a motion to adjourn, and then we'll have some fun, hang out, and maybe have a drink.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, Eric motions, Dale seconds. We are adjourned, and thank you all very, very much.
Mr. Barrow?
Walkie.